The Scripps Howard Foundation is proud to honor excellence in environmental reporting with the Edward J. Meeman Award. The winners, Craig Welch and Steve Ringman of the Seattle Times for Sea Change, the Pacific's Perilous Turn. What does global warming have to do with a fish sandwich from McDonald's? Plenty, as reporter Craig Welch and photographer Steve Ringman explained in their 5-part series about ocean acidification, a phenomenon scientists credit with the earlier-than-predicted demise of Pacific Northwest oysters. It was that report that piqued the Seattle Times duo's interest and sent them on a multi-year quest for answers that required understanding the chemistry of acidification and acquiring scuba diver certification. From a research expedition in New Guinea to a crab boat on the Bering Sea to a stilt village in Indonesia, they traversed the Pacific to document one of the planet's greatest, yet lesser-known environmental threats. They anchored the series at home, with travels to Alaska and Hawaii and up the West Coast for status reports on ocean ecology and how sea urchins signal what the future has in store. Ringman skirted poisonous fish and a deadly blue-ringed octopus, photographed spear fishermen underwater after dark, and juggled all kinds of gear, needing not only stills but video for the series. Welch analyzed hundreds of studies, scoured federal budgets and reports, and interviewed more than 175 people, most of them ocean scientists, to break new ground on the way acidification is likely to move through the food chain and what that means to major commercial species, including the fish used in McDonald's sandwiches.
The photographs, the video, the graphics just made the entire thing easy to digest.
They were curious. They asked different questions than I think most environmental reporters had asked before.
Robin Davis, Vice President for Strategic Planning and Development and the Foundation's lead trustee, presents the Foundation's Edward J. Meeman Award and $10,000 to Craig Welch of the Seattle Times.
Thank you all very much. Thank you to the Scripps Howard Foundation for this tremendous honor. It's a thrill to be here among so many accomplished people, so many accomplished journalists, and it's pretty intimidating too. Steve is sorry he can't be here tonight, but when he and I talked about what this award meant to us, we realized how lucky we both felt. We often get to work on stories together that are both fun and complicated, and then we get to work on stories that are sometimes adventurous or meaningful, and sometimes we get to do them when they're important. In the case of Sea Change, we got to do all of those at once. To be recognized for that is a great privilege, and it also brings attention to something that matters to both of us. Sea Change, more than any story either of us have ever been a part of, took a massive team effort at the Seattle Times, more people than I can name. And it was only possible because of the leadership of our newspaper. The idea was actually broached to me by my editor when I was pitching him another story. He said, "I can tell the story you really think is important for us to tell is about ocean acidification." And I said, "I think it's going to be hard. I think it would be too expensive." And he said, "If it's that important, we need to try." And that's what makes journalism important for us. It's what makes me want to stay in this business, knowing that there are people out there for whom that's what motivates them. They care only about what we need to do to give people the information they need. And luckily for me, I was never far from the inspiration I needed. 18 months ago, when we were first trying to figure out how on earth we would tell this story, I went to a wedding on a beach with my 4-year-old daughter. And before the ceremony, I took a picture of her as she was trying to scratch her name out in the sand for the first time with a shell. Writing stories about the future is incredibly difficult, and it's something that we journalists don't do very much. And I'm grateful to see how often that Scripps Howard honored those kind of stories tonight, because the kind of world that my daughter's going to grow up in when she's my age is already being written in the sand. So thank you very much for your attention.